All right, ladies and gentlemen, I played against this guy. I saw him live, direct, in living color when I used to play for the Raiders back in the day. Got a Chargers legend, Antonio Gates. We have to touch on this, man.
Yeah.
They didn't give you the gold jacket this year, and I'm shocked. What goes through, like, what is that process like? Is it nerve-wracking? Is it like anxiety?
It is.
Is it anger if you don't make it? Like, talk to me through that, man.
Well, it's a feeling that, you truly, I think as athletes, we always really want to know what someone thinks about us.
Yeah.
It ain't that you care, because it doesn't define you, but I think reality is that you can only control what you can control.
Right.
And I think that's the way I see it. I think that I have sacrificed so much for the game of football, right? And you know that too, right? We put our life on the line. We take away from our families.
Yeah.
Our time is limited. And when you have so much underneath the surface and you kind of want to, human nature, you want to be rewarded for that.
Yes.
Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think about my journey, right? I think about the people who've always supported me. I felt like I let them down. Unfortunately, you don't want to say you let them down, but that's how you feel at the time when it happens to you. Because you're like, wow, it's like getting to the Super Bowl and then don't win it.
Right.
Somehow that feels very painful.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe the pain that I was going through. Obviously, we go through things, man. We succeed in certain areas we don't, but we move forward. It's like this. I'm going to move forward. It's no way in, God, earth that I'm not going to move forward.
Right.
But I think the pain is what I was so surprised with.
Yeah.
The fact that I didn't make it. And you always hear from the day we play sports, you want to be first team, right? You want to be all pro, right? And it keeps growing, right? And that is a very, very elite group. And then you hear, man, you're a Hall of Famer. You hear these things, right? And then when you don't get it, it was so painful, man. And I couldn't believe that I was that hurt.
Yeah.
I think that was
the
shocking part about it. I knew it could happen. I'm well aware of it, but I think the fact of the matter is that I'm like, wow, I had to go lay down and say, man, why does this hurt so bad?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's sports, right?
Yeah.
It ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't no life or death.
Right.
It's sports, man. Why was this hurt? Why does this hurt so bad? And I think it's just only I know, and the people that was in my journey with me, how much I put in.
Yes.
And I think that part is what sucks. But kudos to the guys who made it, man. Those guys are well deserving. And I think you don't never take away from the light that they have to shine light on yourself.
Right.
I didn't make it. I made the finals. Like I said.
It's not over, though.
Yeah.
It's not over,
It's like
AG.
one of those things. Yeah.
It's not over, baby.
Yeah.
You're going to be in there.
Yeah.
I got a question. Did it make a Super Bowl? You've been on record saying it's disheartening not being able to get there. Do you think when it comes to that gold jacket, if you would have been there, you'd have played in a couple of them, that would have been just a no-brainer, easy money, I'm in there, locked in?
I mean, I would like to think that winning a Super Bowl and getting that jury is a attribute that no one can take from you.
Yeah.
And I think it signifies what your play meant to the team.
Yeah.
In a broad perspective, like that's for the rest of the world to see me.
Right.
On that stage. The rest of the world ain't never seen me in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I played in the Super Bowl, the rest of the world can understand what Antonio Gates and what the Chargers were doing.
Organization.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you would know, right? We played, the guys on the West Coast would know, the people that was in the division would know.
Yeah,
so
we know.
Maybe but the rest of the world, the people that's in New York might not quite understand.
Right.
People in D.C. might not quite understand. So I think it does give you an advantage.
Right.
When I see guys up for it, and I said, even the guys that won, I don't know if it's the determining factor because we're talking two different dynamics. That's a team, an individual.
Right.
But I do believe if you had it, it couldn't hurt.
Right.
It can only help.
Right.
So I look into all those dynamics in terms of why I didn't get in. But the most important thing is that's the thing that the driving force is what did I do wrong. I think any human being knows when they when things happen to them and it doesn't go the way as planned, you immediately start reflecting.
Yeah. Did I do something?
Yeah, that man, what did I do wrong? And I just think about my degree and my degree of difficulty and what it took for me to be a star. I was a basketball, so I started as a rookie.
I was gonna bring
Like
that up.
to me, that is, guys get drafted, don't start.
True.
So to me, like I said, one moment doesn't define you.
Yeah.
And I hope, and I would tell this to my kids, don't let one moment define you.
Right.
How you react to this situation, and that's why I'm here. It's just like, man, it didn't happen, man. Due season.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
use that concept now. Due season, due time, man. It'll happen, man. And the guys who know, they know.
And the guys like me that know, you are definitely a trendsetter in the game because you are one of the first guys to be a basketball player in college, come into the league and just take it by storm. And it almost like started a trend, right? We had the Jimmy Grant.
Yeah.
They tried to get so many basketball players. Like, we can make him the next Antonio Gates.
Julius Thomas. I remember him coming
Jay Thomas.
Yeah,
he balled out at Denver.
He was balling out too, yeah.
But there's not too many guys that did it. So you are, in my opinion, you are the first guy that did it and balled out at that magnitude. So I know what this guy has done. Let's talk about the tight ends here. Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. We got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. We got Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. When you think about those names, where do you see you and Phillip ranking amongst those guys? Well, I played against two of them. All three of them, actually. I played against all three of them.
I mean, the game has changed so much, and I think, it's so hard to say things without feeling like you're taking a shot at someone, and that's not what I'm trying to do. And I know what I do, that those are two great tight ends, and those are two great quarterbacks. I think when we did it, it wasn't getting done, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So the magnitude of when we were doing it is a lot bigger than it would be like when Steph Curry started shooting long range. It wasn't done.
Yeah.
They didn't take 6'2" small guards. They couldn't jump.
Yeah.
So when we did it, it was like, man, 13 touchdowns led. That was the history. I had scored more touchdowns in the history at 13. Now guys wake up with every guy got 10.
Yeah.
So they got to remember the history of when we was doing it, and
different game.
It was a different game. We were getting jammed at the line. We were getting held at the line. You got 5 yards to do whatever you need to do, and then you can let a guy go.
Right.
So it wasn't no lower hitting down low.
They could go everywhere.
Guys like Sean Taylor and Bob Sanders, they don't care about covering because you need to know where they were at.
Yes.
So the fear of walking out there as an offensive guy, the dynamic, now guys are faster, safeties are quicker, and they are smaller. I remember looking back there and seeing Sean Taylor and Al Wilson and freaking
big dogs.
Big, like these dudes. So you had to worry about John Lynch. And these guys would tear your head off.
Yeah.
So my thing would be like, it wasn't done. So that dynamic, we can never truly compare. I just know that they had tremendous amount of success in what they were doing, and so did we.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, I'm sure if they watched our tape, they would have to say, this is what we were doing.
Right.
This worked against this team.
Right.
And so I would like to think the respect factor was always there for all three of us, for myself, for Grunk, for Travis. But we were obviously the catalyst to how it all started, and I think they would probably agree to that too.
Right.
I mean, because I'm sure I see plays that they run, and I know that they stole it from what we did.
Yeah, for sure.
So
back in that time, man,
it's what it is. I mean, it was guys before me who paved the way.
Yep.
And that's how it works. It's not, you have to bow at one point.
Right.
And I think they know that. I score more points. The name of the game is scoring.
Yeah, exactly.
And in my world, since I've been playing sports, who you score the most points is who's generally the best. You know what I'm saying? That's how I grew up. You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't mean guys are not great. It's just that's how I grew up. LeBron James has scored the most points. So why are we haven't talking about
anybody else? I agree. Hey, don't get me started on
that's how I grew up, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just unfortunately, I think that, it's like a 4-by-1 team.
Yeah.
You have the baton, and I'm past.
Yep. Stick.
You're going to pass it to Travis.
Yeah.
Right? Travis going to pass it to the next generation. Right? So Kittles, right? So it just goes in that cycle. And I think we all have had that time and that space and what we've done with it, right? And it's pushed the position, which is the most important thing.
Right.
I've been able to, right now guys are getting 1,000 yards. Now every time I look up, a tight end can beat you.
Yeah.
It used to be like that.
Yeah. And
You
that
know what
I
I
feel
mean?
like this game is like that now.
Yeah,
Like you got George Kittle, you got
right.
Travis Kelce.
I looked at the tight end for the Lions, Laporte. I mean, this guy can
Baller.
beat you.
Baller.
You know, so now it's just transcended into that point, and I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
That was my purpose.
Yeah.
Right? That's their purpose.
Yes.
And that's what the passing the baton means.
Yes.
You keep passing it because when you get it, we need you to push it.
Yep.
Go as fast as you can.
Yep.
102. Do the best you can with it
Right.
and give it to somebody else.
Right.
And tell them, hey, it's not going to be easy, but just do the best you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of the game.
So we got the Super Bowl. We got two great tight ends in the Super Bowl. You just named them. We got Travis Kelce. We got George Kittle.
Yeah.
What do those guys have to do in this game to help their team win? Because I obviously know Travis is the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Patty Mahomes is Patty Mahomes, but Travis is the guy.
He's their number
and
one
then when it
option.
comes to George Kittle and the Niners, people don't really mention his name. They mention CMC,
But he
but
means
I
just
feel
as
like
much.
he's the guy. Yes.
He means even more. He probably means more to me than Travis does.
Yeah.
Because I know the game.
Yep. Yep.
Because they run behind George Kittle's too.
Yes. Okay.
So the
okay.
running game is big with him in it.
Yep.
So now you can do things that even Kansas City can't do.
Okay.
So I'm well familiar with that. George Kittle is probably the most all-around best tight end in the history of the game right now.
Okay.
I'm going on record to say that right now, as an all-around tight end, because what they can do in the run game.
Yes.
What
Run
they can do in
and
the run
pass.
game. You know,
Yeah.
I think me and Travis is more similar, and I was able to, we block power with LT. So we were able to block. With Marty Schottenheimer, you got to be able to block.
Yeah.
And you got to be tough.
Yeah.
But what Kittles are doing and pancaking defensive ends, it's insane.
Yeah.
I know how it's insane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's pancaking these dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is crazy. He can go play left tackle, right
Yeah,
tackle.
right,
This is
right.
crazy. So he means just as he means more to the 49ers, and that's the sports analyst version of me playing in the game.
Okay.
I think both of them have to set the tone.
Yep.
You know, it ain't no tomorrow. You go out, you set the tone. What I mean by that is that you go out and you execute, right? You make sure guys are ready to play. You make sure guys are on the same page. You make sure you set the tone, and that's what it means. I always had this thing in my room when I was tight end, when I played, it's one thing is leading, but leading efficiently.
Okay.
What guys see you do has more value to what you say to them.
Yeah. Yep.
You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So
I
I'll
know
be like,
exactly
let's
what
go out here,
you're
let's do this, let's go play fast, they play. But you know, when I get out there, I'm already ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They watching me work extra.
Yeah.
So they know it means something to me.
Yep.
And they like, wait a minute, he's staying out there.
Right. And he the guy.
This is 6 years in a row.
And he
Right,
the
bro,
guy.
Right. So let me catch some. Hey, come on, man, let's do it a little bit longer.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So that's what I mean about setting the tone. They have to go set the tone, establish what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to play the game of football. And I think guys have fallen suit, especially with those two guys.
Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Who I'm
And
rooting for and who I'm rooting for.
Drop the bias.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you can't like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I know
right,
you can
right,
never
right,
really root
right,
for the Chiefs.
right.
I'm a Raider. I get you.
Yeah.
But who do you think?
I mean,
wins
Patrick
the
Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the 49ers. I live in California.
Okay.
I like to see, I'm going as far as I like to see the fact that Kyle Shanahan has fought in that organization. But Patrick Mahomes is so unbelievable, man. And I wouldn't really want to say, like I said, I played against him twice a year. That's our division, right? So we're in our division with them, so we don't really like rooting for him. But it's just one of those things where he's the best quarterback. And I think the underlying thing for me, again, because you play up, that defense in Kansas City, they don't get enough credit, man.
Yeah, they're good.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Those receivers, those corners, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They out there
pros.
competing, bro.
Yeah, they balling.
And you know how hard it is, like, because, you know, everything is always on the offense.
Yep.
All that spotlight. And I'm thinking, like, well, you know, the Baltimore Ravens struggle offensively. Ain't nobody talking about nothing
They're
about
not
the
talking about
defense.
it. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that they compete. I played them twice. I know they get in your face like how they get in your face and they compete.
Yep.
And that's important to winning the Super Bowl. And I said, that's, to me, that the unsung heroes for the Kansas City Chiefs is that defense, in my opinion. They are getting guys off the field, and it's going overlooked because of the spectacular play and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's going overlooked. It's like, okay, well, what they do to Lamar Jackson? Yeah, that's exactly. They found a way to beat him and stop him.
Right.
They put a plan together that slowed him all the way down.
Right.
He made some spectacular plays, but he was struggling
Yeah.
to the point I started thinking, these Ravens, are they choking?
Yeah, right, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
But I know that defense is good because I used to go against them. I mean, they always been competitive.
Right.
The Chiefs have always been competitive on D.
They have.
And that's what you see right now. That's why, in my mind, that's who I think going to win, but I'm rooting for the 49ers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Gates, trendsetter in the game. I appreciate you for your time, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Give my man a gold jacket. Stop playing with him, man.
All right.
Dang.
Thanks,
Appreciate you,
man.
man. That was-